Hey kids, and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about grace and what grace means in our life. Before I do that, I'm going to ask you guys a huge favor. Head down to that little like, share, dislike bar, click that like button, ring that bell, do the subscribe thing. That really helps our channel. Doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to us. Also, if you want to help support us monetarily, head down to the description and click on the Scars and Stripes logo. That's our affiliate link, United We Brew. So buy yourself some Scars and Stripes coffee and empower veterans every day. So again, hashtag United We Brew. So back to it. We're talking about grace, and what does grace mean? If you just look up grace, you're going to see things that involve movement. It's going to be talking about like the ballet, the movement from left to right, the ocean, the grace of that movement. It's also going to be talking about a grace that's bestowed on you by another person, typically the grace of a king onto a peasant. Grace has a lot of different definitions, but most of them revolve around movement. So, what is grace in the biblical sense? Well, a lot of scholars will say that grace is a spontaneous reflection of God's love. So basically, something happens that you don't deserve. And a lot of people say, well, they'll say that I don't deserve this, and I have this nice car, and I have this nice house, and I have this nice bank account, whatever it is. Some people attribute that to God. I am blessed beyond measure because God loves me. That kind of takes the idea that God loves everyone equally out of the equation. So let's back up. What is grace? Can grace be that new shiny car? Maybe, if that's what brings you closer to God. I don't know that a car has ever brought me closer to God other than getting into it and going to church. So we're looking for a grace that we cannot understand, we can't comprehend. So where does that grace come from? That grace is grace from God. And the grace that we receive from God is basically unasked for. It is kind of like a miracle, except it's an everyday thing. So a grace would be that hug of a child. A grace would be that smile. Something you didn't really expect, you didn't really deserve, but you received it anyway. Typically, grace in our life is received from children. Children love unconditionally, and they don't fall for BS. If you lie to a child, they're not going to like you. Just like a dog. If you lie to a dog, they're not going to like you. People who are innocent and people who are pure can spot evil and darkness very quickly. So you have to bring yourself into the mindset of a child to be able to accept love unconditionally, and more so to give love unconditionally. When we are adults and we've gone through our life and life has just beat us down, it's a lot harder to sit there and say, I'm going to love my enemy. I'm going to try my best to make the world better. It seems easy, but it isn't, because we come with baggage. We come with our own abuses. We come with our own education. We might have been raised in a different culture. We might have been raised in a different part of the country or a different part of the world. Everything that we are, the way we were raised, what color we are, what biological, what cultural, everything, all that is us. And we have no control over that. So to say that God will grace you with a truck, or God will grace you with a lawnmower, or God will grace you with anything, is to not understand the nature of a loving God who will give you blessings and things that you don't know you need before you know you need them. One of the most important things you can learn about following God is this. Don't expect God to be what you expect God to be. Don't put God into your little box, because so often when you get this awesome relationship, if you have this reversion or you have this connection to God, you want everyone to have that very same connection. The problem with that is God is so big and so wonderful and awesome. God's connection with each person is going to be different. Some people are going to find God in the trees and in the animals. Some people are going to find God in the scriptures. Some people are going to find God in church and in sacraments. People find God in different places. And the reason people can find God in different places is because God is in different places. God is everywhere. So keep in mind that if you're searching for God, maybe you're not really searching for God, but you're searching for your version of God to approve your lifestyle or whatever your decisions are. Remember, God isn't something or someone to be searched for. God is someone to step back, close your eyes, and listen, because he isn't someplace to be searched for. He is right here, present now. He is in your heart, in your soul, in your cells. He is everything that you are. So when you're searching for God, you're truly not searching for God when you're looking for him in this church or in this book or in whatever that is. You are not searching for God if you're actively looking for him, because God is here. God is present. We must sit back and listen. God answers every single prayer, every single time. There are one of 3 answers that God will always give you. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. Number 1, the answer is yes. God, please help me get this job to support my family. You got the job. Boom. The answer is yes. Or did God not really worry about your job because he knew you were going to get it anyway? Regardless, he could say yes. He can make it to where the red lights are turning green and you don't even know it. And there's these little pushes and motions in place that you have no idea are happening, and they're being put into motion for you. So yeah, that's a yes. Sometimes you don't hear it. It's just that little thing that gets put in motion. Number 2, no. Sometimes as a parent, you have to say no to your kids, not because you don't love them, not because of anything other than I know that bowl of ice cream is going to be bad for you. Well, maybe not that first bowl, but that third bowl. So I'm going to say no. And that kid is going to say, I want my ice cream so bad. And as a parent, you got to say, well, if I let you have that ice cream, you're going to end up getting bad habits, eating habits. You may potentially be faced with obesity later on because, ice cream is a gateway drug to food. And, I promise you, I understand that. I love my ice cream and I love my food. Actually, I used to not like ice cream, but now I do. It's really weird. Anyway, I digress. 2, no. Because sometimes God knows what's better for you. So you have to accept the fact that God might know what's better for you. And the last one, wait. Wait is the hardest one to deal with because that's not a yes and it's not a no. And wait is a lot different than maybe. Maybe is usually yes, right? Because if your parent says, yeah, maybe, usually your parent's like, okay, I got to figure out how to afford this. I got to get the time to do this. But when you say maybe, it's probably a maybe. When you say wait, you're not giving it a maybe. You're not giving it might be yes, it might be no. You're just saying wait. And that's what God, I think, wants from us. I don't presume to know God, but as a father, sometimes I want my kids to just wait. Not because they don't deserve it, not because I don't have the money, but because sometimes it's important to wait and to be quiet so you can receive the grace. So wait. And wait gives control. So as a parent, saying wait to a child gives them control because you're not saying no. I love to use the example of a toy. My kids will say, I want this toy. And I'll hold up a toy in a store and I'll say, that's an awesome toy, but wait. And they know, because we've spoken this vocabulary and we'll keep repeating it, that wait means, oh, dad's not buying it today or mom's not buying it today. So either I need to ask for it for a holiday or some kind of special occasion, and then it'll become a yes, or I just stop asking for it and it's just a no. Or, and my favorite, hey, Dad, what chores can I do to earn enough money to buy that? Because wait could just mean you need to put a little work in. And that little bit of work is pretty important. So we have the yes, no, and wait. And when you can realize that sometimes God says yes, sometimes God says no, and when he says no, it's quick, and sometimes he says wait. And that's when you're sitting back and you're like, what's the best course of action right now? The best course of action, in my opinion, is to say your prayers, to participate in the sacraments, love on your family, and sit back and listen to God, because you may just feel his grace. So until next time, work hard, be kind, and have fun.